Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Imam Sahib says that in the previous Dars I mentioned that the month of Ramadan that is going past, which is going past very fast, and this is actually a month of attaining the nearness of Allah, and it is a time if you even put in a little bit of effort you can attain the nearness of Allah, and also one can adopt the paths of sacrifice. By the grace of God, Allah opens numerous doors to the paths of sacrifice, and the environment is such an environment is born that one can keep stepping on the field in the field of goodness, and if one reflects on it, it becomes very easy. Imam says that the paths of sacrifice that Allah opens in this blessed month, in this is seen in the atmosphere of goodness all over, in the homes, in the mosques, in the shops, everywhere. When people meet, they speak about piety and good deeds. And it's if a person is a bit weak spirituality, their mind, instead of going towards the worldly affairs, they concentrate more on matters of religion, of piousness. So these instructions that Allah has given us with reference to Ramadan, if we think about them, then we see that we look at the things that we ought to do in order to attain the nearness of Allah. So first of all, we should offer tahajjud prayer, and the tahajjud prayer should be emphasized greatly in the homes. If a husband wakes up, he should wake his wife up as well, and the children as well. And instead of talking till late at night, one should concentrate on the tahajjud prayer, and one should try to sleep early so one can wake up in time for tahajjud prayer. So this is a very special gift that Ramadan brings us, that one is enabled to perform more tahajjud, which is a source of nearness of Allah. Then other than this, Imam says that we are also reminded to do extra prayers, that is nawafil prayer. And this is something in a hadith we are told that the nawafil are something that enable us to get close to Allah, even though they are non-obligatory prayers. And don't think that your 5 daily prayers are enough. Of course, they are the basic minimum requirement of being a believer. But apart from that, one should do extra prayers as well. And as much as one has the resolve and the power to do this, one should try one's best and make the intention, and one should offer these extra prayers in order to attain the nearness of Allah. And the other path that is open to us is the help of the poor and the needy. So it is an obligation on a Muslim to help people who are less privileged. One should, it's not just through money, it should be through moral guidance on the right path of educating people. And so this is an important part, in fact a very great door of Ramadan, a door towards piety, attaining the nearness of Allah. And this is something that, although the door is always open, but a lot of times one forgets about that. Imam Sahib says that, yeah, of course one does pious deeds, but it's just like a student who works hard all year, but when it comes to the time of an exam, he works much harder. In the same way, in Ramadan, we are enabled to attain these new paths, and we're enabled to walk these new paths towards the nearness of Allah. Imam Sahib says that the needy are everywhere, and Imam Sahib said that where is a town or a city where there is no person who is poor and who is needy, even in the richest of countries, you see poor people and needy people, and of course poor countries are poor anyway, so it is not difficult at all. Imam Sahib says that I have mentioned this previously, that I have seen with my own eyes in London. When I went to the centre of London, I saw some people raiding the dustbins, and they were searching inside for anything thrown away, any food thrown away. So Imam Sahib says that this is obviously London is one of the main cities of the world, so poverty is found everywhere. So all we need to do is to look for such people. And also, for example, if one's neighbors are needy, one should keep an eye on them and one should help them. And there is no limits of religion or ethnicity. We should help everyone. We are not taught that we should only help Muslims or Ahmadis. We are the servants of the mercy to mankind, Rahmatul Alameen, that is the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and he has taught us to help everyone, no matter what his background is. If he requires need, and if he's hungry or thirsty or whatever, then we should try to help them. So this is about the help of the poor. So in this regard, charity and giving alms is something which must be done in this month. And as for sadaqah, Imam Sahib is saying that is the giving of charity, this is something that cools the wrath of Allah. So if in this month when we desire the nearness of Allah, we should perform this act much more than before. And in this we should not forget about our poor relatives and give it to them in such a manner that they should not you should maintain their self-respect. You should do it quietly, and you should put your sadaqah, etc. in their hand, so their self-respect is maintained and their needs are fulfilled. So teachings of Islam are beautiful. This is such endearing and lovely teachings have been taught to us by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, in which various parts of piety keep opening before us. And to walk on every path of piety is the teaching of Islam. And the other thing is that a tradition tells us that if someone opens the fast of someone who is fasting, then he gets the same amount of reward as the person who is fasting. And people sometimes say that, and they ask me as well, that if I get as much reward as the person who is fasting, then how much reward would be left for the person who is actually fasting? But the answer is found in the traditions to this question. It is said that the reward of the one fasting isn't lessened, and yet the person who is opening the fast is also given an equal reward. There is no reduction in the sawab. Allah, in the reward, Allah can give as much as He likes. So this is another path of goodness that one can adopt. However, when one invites someone to our home to open their fasting, then one should be careful. There shouldn't be prolonged meetings afterwards. And if one talks about matters which are worldly, then this is against the whole reward idea, because one should not forget about Allah, because one sits together and talks after such a meeting, such a dinner or something. Imam Sahib said this. So this is a month in which Allah pulls people towards Him and gives them many paths in this regard. So every moment of this month is such that in which we can do good deeds. And Imam Sahib says that one keeps being reminded of that those words of the Prophet ﷺ, in which he says that follow every single path of goodness, because you do not know which path would lead you to the nearness of Allah. Imam Sahib says that I repeatedly mention this, and whenever I do mention it, it gives me great pleasure and enjoyment to remind people about this. And I hope that this would lead to the person hearing and have a flame of hope arising people's hearts that they should towards the performance of good deeds. So no matter how big or small, during the day, during the night, individually or in a congregational manner, we should do good at home, outside, to our friends. So it should be a month of goodness, and this is the greatness of Ramadan, and this is how you could turn the month of Ramadan into a month of piety and good deeds. And we will continue speaking about these later on as well.